Gangwon Province, South Korea. Here, nature and national security collide. This is the front line of vigilance, bordering North Korea and containing parts of the heavily fortified Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, and few places in South Korea carry as much geopolitical weight as this rugged province. But the 36th Infantry Division, headquartered in the city of Wonju, is even more unique. It straddles two worlds. On one side, the wilderness. On the other, the city. This makes the 36th one of the few divisions that trains its soldiers on both jungle warfare and urban combat operations. In military terms, they're becoming multi domain combatants, troops capable of operating in any terrain under any condition. And that's no accident. The 36th Infantry Division is part of South Korea's Ground Operations Command, which oversees national defense readiness in peacetime and serves as a frontline reinforcement command in wartime. Its soldiers aren't just defending the homeland, they're preparing for every possible threat or conflict. For snow covered valleys to tight alleyways, from silent night patrols in forest to simulated hostage rescues in mock city blocks, every day is a new battlefield. This is where J Hope served, not just as a soldier, but as an assistant drill instructor, helping mold the next wave of troops into physical, hardened, mentally sharp, and tactically flexible warriors. Because here at the 36th, adaptability isn't a skill, it's a survival strategy. Let's go through some of the things that J Hope, along with other trainees in the 36th, went through. Navigation and movement. They learn map reading without landmarks. Jungle terrain often looks the same in every direction. They also learn the use of compass, GPS, and terrain association. They learn tactical movement, learning to move silently through dense vegetation information without creating trails or being detected. The truth is that finding your way in the jungle isn't like following Google Maps. Everything around you can look exactly the same. Trees, vines, thick bushes, no road sign, no building, not even clear paths. That's why soldiers have to rely on tools like a compass or GPS, and even then, they need to know how to match what they see with what's on the map, a skill called terrain association. It's easy to get lost if you miss even a small detail. Moving through the jungle is no walk in the park either. You can just stomp through the plants or talk to your teammates. Soldiers are trained to move silently, carefully stepping over branches and ducking under leaves without leaving a trail that enemies could follow. They also can't walk side by side like in the movie. Instead, they move in a single file or spread out in staggered pattern depending on the mission, so they don't get all hit at once if there's an ambush. Camo and concealment. Soldiers are taught how to use natural vegetation as camouflage. In the jungle, blending in isn't just helpful, it's a matter of survival. Soldiers are trained to use the plants around them to hide from enemy. They learn how to cover themselves in mud, leaves, and branches so they vanish into the background. But it goes even deeper than just hiding. They also taught how to hide their body heat. Yes, even your warmth can give you away if the enemy is using thermal imaging. They build hidden spots to watch from. This is called observation posts, and they create jungle blinds, basically camo shelters made from whatever nature provides. And then there's sound and light discipline. No shiny objects, no loud talking, not even the glow of a watch face at night. One small slip, a clink of a gear, a flash of a light, and the entire mission could be compromised. Survival training. Conscripted soldiers in South Korea do basic survival training, while hardcore jungle tactics, thermal evasion, and eating bugs are mainly for special operation units like the ROK Marines And special forces, basic survival is still no easy task. Soldiers are trained to find their own food and water using deep knowledge of local plants and animals. They learn to set up systems to catch rainwater since fresh and clean water is scarce. And if someone gets injured or sick, which is easy in a hot, wet environment, they need to know how to treat heat exhaustion, leech bites, infected wounds, and even poisonous animal encounters, all with basic first aid. They also train to tell the difference between edible and toxic plants. A mistake could mean food poisoning or worse. It's a constant mental challenge, especially when they're already physically drained, sleep deprived, and hungry. Many say this part of the training of those that are in the advanced stage, it's easy to break you down mentally more than anything else. Not because it's loud or fast, but because it's slow, lonely, and unforgiving. Marksmanship in humid conditions. Using weapons in the jungle is a whole different beast. The air is heavy with moisture, the ground is soaked, and mud gets into everything. Soldiers train to fire, clean, and maintain their weapons in wet, dirty, and humid conditions. Because if your rifle jams during a firefight, it could cost lives. Spotting a target is much harder. Thick vegetation blocks your view, so soldiers have to practice finding and aiming at enemies, which might be partially hidden by leaves, branches, or terrain. There's no wide open view like at a firing range, just shadows and movements. And even the air works against you. Humidity can mess with how bullets travel and how clear your optics are. Soldiers are taught to understand how the weather, the thickness of the jungle, and even the temperature can change how they aim and shoot. That was for jungle warfare training. Now let's go to urban warfare training, often called the military operations on urban terrain, or MOUT. It is a specialized, high stakes form of combat training. It prepares soldiers to fight in cityscapes filled with buildings, alleys, stairwells, and civilians, where threats can come from any angle, above, below, or behind the door. For divisions like 36th Infantry, which operates on both forested and urban environments, this training is essential to ensure soldiers are ready for real-world scenarios involving close-quarter combats, building takeovers, and rapid decision-making in chaotic environments. Here's a breakdown of urban warfare training components. Movement in confined spaces. Urban combat is close, tight, and unforgiving. Soldiers are trained to move through a tight hallway, stairwells, rooftops, and pile of rubble. Any place where space is limited and threats can come from above, below, or behind the door. They use a tactic called bounding overwatch, where one group moves while the other watches their back, leapfrogging forward to keep everyone protected. It sounds simple, but when you're doing it under fire, in collapsing buildings, or in near total darkness, it's incredibly stressful. Talking can get you killed. Echoes scary, and sound travel fast in concrete buildings. So soldiers rely on hand signals to communicate even when visibility is low and nerves are high. Use of cover concealment. When bullets fly, your survival depends on what you hide behind. Soldiers learn to use anything, walls, cars, broken furniture, even shadows as protection. They train to understand angles of fire, where a shooter might be, where blind spots are, and how to secure dangerous spots like doorway, staircase, which can act like a funnel for gunfire. Sometimes they use ballistic shields or create makeshift barricades on the spot to protect themselves or teammates during advances. Urban survival and resupply. Urban warfare often means being cut off from supplies. No food drops, no backups. Soldiers have to learn how to turn abandoned buildings into temporary bases, find shelter, scavenge food, and defend themselves without reinforcement. They also learn how to use broken furniture, loose bricks, or even doors to fortify a location and stay alive while waiting for extraction. Communication and coordination. In a city, chaos can break down everything in seconds. So soldiers are trained to coordinate tightly with each other and with medics, drone teams, and armored vehicles. They have to stay aware of who's where, what's behind each wall, and how quickly help can get them if something goes wrong. One bad call or communication can put an entire unit at risk. J Hope has always been a man of duality. He is a dancer with the precision of a soldier, a writer with the heart of a poet. He is a leader who knows when to lead the charge, but also a teammate who knows when to step back. And when he served in the military, that duality didn't disappear, it actually deepened. He trained in silence and in chaos, in the dense jungle and concrete cities. He studied war tactics with the same dedication and discipline he once gave in dance rehearsals. Because whether it seems that whether he is doing music or he is in uniform, Hosok doesn't just play dual roles, he actually masters them. That's his nature. And now that he's back, he's still J Hope. He's just sharper, more sure of himself, and definitely more himself. And I am loving it. I would love to know what you think. I just want to make it clear that many of the trainings that they do, these are basic trainings. So everybody who is conscripted, they actually go through all of this training. There are just specific things that, depending on where they are assigned, they do more of, or special skills that they learn based on where they are assigned. So since J Hope was assigned in the 36th Infantry, he had to do both the jungle and urban. Now on the where Jimin and Jungkook and Jin were, those were primarily the frontliners. They are the frontliners, and so their concentration was more defending the country. So they're mostly fighting the enemy. And I will go through that. And then V, who was in SDT, he was more internal, so more urban is his specialization because they deal with conflicts that are already in the military. I'm going to discuss all of that. I have one more, which is for Shoga, and then I'll do there's another request that came in to discuss more about gunners and stuff like that. And then I'll do like a general explanation of the military. And I hope after that I'll be done with the military and we can go back to actually talking about music. All right. If you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And also share the video if you can, because that's really helping my channel. Also, please follow me on X, on IG, and also on Patreon. We are growing the community. I'm also restructuring it so that we can discuss more than just BTS and also discuss other artists more, movies, culture, other things. And also, if you can, please donate to the channel because that's really helping so that we can advance faster. I also just launched my membership. So if you can, I will start uploading. Uh, Subscribe to the membership. I will start uploading videos. Okay, that's it. Thank you.